What is going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining us on another beautiful Monday night here in Vikings land. Another Monday night GG Sports Podcast live stream. Jamie is finally all settled in over in North Carolina, and perfect timing as well because we are
Yeah.
1 week away from free agency. Things are really going to start to kick off as it
Let's
comes to this
go.
NFL offseason. One of the biggest off seasons in recent memory for the Vikings. It's gonna be exciting, man, and it all starts next week. Free agency draft, the combine just happened, so a lot of stuff to talk about there. It's an exciting time for football, man, and I mean it's sad to say this stuff is honestly kind of more exciting than when they start playing the actual games. But
Well,
Jamie,
especially
first
when
off,
it's
how was the move? How was North Carolina, and what'd you think about? We'll talk about the combine later.
all right. First, even before me, we gotta do some shout outs here because we got our guys in here already bringing the comments on, starting with our boy Too Evil to Hope, coming in with some craziness right off the bat here. Sign Wentz, which I don't know if you got rid of Kirk Cousins or whatever, I probably wouldn't care so much. Anyways, draft Bo Nix. That's like it gets worse and worse as he goes here because I draft Bo Nix. I don't have Bo Nix in my top 5. Let's just go with that. I don't have Bo Nix in my top 5. I'm not trying to draft Bo Nix. I don't know. I feel like he's going to end up being a game manager, quarterback, whatever. Anyways, trade JJ. Obviously, that's not going to happen, and it definitely shouldn't happen. He's about to get paid. I know that's going to make you sad, Too Evil, but that's all right. Too Evil, you're my guy, though. You're my guy. We got our boy Vocal Vike in the building. What up? Rap. No. What up, dude? What up, my guy? Gary, my guy. Gary, what up, Gary? My other guy, Fat Boy Yogi. What up, Yogi? FT Matty, man, what is up, dude? Welcome in. No stop, welcome in. What's going on, dude? What is going on? Did I miss anybody through here? So we got our guys, Skol NFL Shorts. You're on you're on your other Shorts channel, huh? Coming in here on the Shorts channel. I like it. Again, hey, another show. You know, we took a couple weeks off because I was busy doing all kinds of stuff, but we are back. I'm settled in here, like Casey said, in North Carolina, in the mountains and in the woods, in the mountains. Pretty chill up in here. I'm liking it a lot. I think it's going to be a perfect place for us to push a lot of content, and I'm really excited about that. What up, Purple Haze? Welcome in, dude. Welcome to see you back, brother. Again, Jordan Addison rookie card giveaway. Get those hashtags, goals in the comments, all that good stuff to enter that. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. All that good stuff. FT Matty, man, heard they had a close deal with JJ. I don't know how close it is, but it's going to get done.
Well,
it's going to get done.
There was that report yesterday that basically we're expected to sign him to a deal with more than $30 million per season, which, I mean, we all kind of assumed was going to be the case anyway. So
I mean, let's just get straight to it. So I mean, talking about free agencies and predictions going into going a week away. I mean, we should find out a lot this week, you would think, as far as like who's testing the market, all that kind of stuff. But let's talk about the guy here, the boy Kirk Cousins, who might leave us and become a Kirko somewhere else. What's your thoughts on Kirk Cousins now? Do you think he is going to stick around, or do you think he's gone? Whether that's his choice or not, what's your, whether you like him or not, what is your ultimate decision on Kirk Cousins' future with the Minnesota Vikings?
As they say, when it comes to contract negotiations, when things are quiet, things are going well in negotiations. And I know our boy Dave, our co-host on Wednesday nights, would sit here and say, but who's saying this stuff, right? Who really is the one behind this? Are they reports? Are they speculation? What is it, buzz? What exactly is it? But there has been a lot coming out about Kirk Cousins and the money he's looking for. There was the rumor that Atlanta, they're holding off their Justin Fields trade because they view Cousins as their 1A option. There's, other teams that Cousins may even be interested in a reunion with Washington as long as the structure of the contract is right. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's just a lot of noise out there about all this stuff to where I feel like there might be, I don't know. I feel, and then there's also the thing that Cousins has a certain contract in mind. The Vikings have not yet met that. And we kind of, we've known that the two sides weren't about to meet since last offseason when we wanted to give him a one year Band-Aid extension. And he wanted to get multi-years with some more guarantees. Right. And I think Joey Hawking actually kind of mentioned it when the report first broke and Kirk talked to the media and he said like it's not about the dollars, is what the dollars represent. Where we all thought like, oh, he might stay here, take a hometown discount because he likes it here. Where I think Joey Hawking kind of hit it right on the nose with it was basically more of I want guaranteed years on my deal. Now he's getting older and the injury with everything. I think he wants guarantees. He wants to be guaranteed he's going to be somewhere or at least have money somewhere for a few seasons. And I think the Vikings, they've already said there's already been reports of that they're not going to give him anything fully guaranteed, which I think is fair. So all of that to say, I think Kirk Cousins is gone. There's just something in me that, and I'm more pro than anti Kirk, always have been, but with all this stuff kind of coming out and all this, it just doesn't feel. And then basically Kevin O'Connell saying there's going to be other teams interested in Kwesi saying that they would have to meet in the middle somewhere. It just kind of is leaning towards Kirk Cousins not being a Viking next season in my mind. So if you're asking me right now, yes or no, I say no. I think he is gone.
And I mean, I think anybody who watches would know that I also think he's gone. I had a video, like, I don't even know if the season was over yet. Like that regular season was over yet. I think it was like I think I had Kirk Cousins versus Russell Wilson or something. But even in that, I said the writing's on the wall. And to me, I mean, it's just becoming more and more obvious that going through the combine, everything Kwesi's saying, everything KOC is saying, that is at the very least, Kirk Cousins is going to test the market. And unless somehow he doesn't get what he wants there, which I do think he's probably going to, I ultimately think that, Kirk Cousins is going to go. And, the big one is last year, not like the most obvious one, where I'm so surprised there's so many people that think Kirk Cousins is going to be sticking around here, unless Kirk Cousins really leaves, comes back, sees that nobody else wants to give him fully guaranteed money and comes back and takes a deal of $30 million a year or less, in my opinion, is what I would think the Vikings are seeing a number around there, which I just don't think he's going to do that. But yeah, last year, since the Vikings didn't re-sign him then, and this year he gets an Achilles season-ending injury and he's only a year older, to me, in my mind, it made zero sense for them to all of a sudden want to come into this offseason and pay him guaranteed money with multiple years. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And like what KOC said, and I've mentioned this, I don't know if it was on this podcast or before, but like if you watch, and everybody, I mean, anybody who's been watching KOC and Kwesi talk, I mean, they have nothing but good things to say about Kirk Cousins, but there's a big difference when you talk about Justin Jefferson, a guy you absolutely want to be here, compared to a guy that it's not really your priority. And you could tell that in the things that they were saying. So ultimately, I kind of just think that you see Kirk Cousins gone, and I think, hopefully you find out this week so we can move on from that and figure out what's next for the Vikes.
And I think you kind of said it too. Like if something were to have if something were close to be getting done, it would have happened by now. Like the fact that it hasn't really just makes you think that they're headed towards the breakup at this point. But anyway, we talk too much Kirk. I know that. I mean, and me, as you guys all know, I hate talking Kirk Cousins, but at least now that the fact that it's not the same old conversation, it's actually some stuff that's actually being reported on, it's newsworthy new stuff, you got to talk about it. And I understand that, a lot of people are tired of talking about it. I know I am. But so anyway, let's move away from that, talk about some other free agents, and another big one, actually.
Yeah, and that is, and we have some who put it in here. I think No Stop did. Is this what you're talking about?
Is Hunter gone? I think that's, yeah, yep.
Daniil Hunter. So obviously, first thing is figuring out what happens with Kirk Cousins. I mean, I'm assuming you're going to see both of these guys test the market.
Daniil for sure.
I think both of them. I think both of them. At this point, it seems like, I mean, something would have been close to being done. I think we see them both test the markets. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens then. But what do you ultimately think? What's going on, George Blunt? Welcome in, dude. Kirk is the ball and chain. Time to divorce. Yeah, exactly. What do you think? Hey, we got AJ in here and the music and the misery. What up? Hey, it's been a minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been a minute. What's up? What's up, Poppin' Skol gang? Hey, Skol AJ. Welcome in. Just talking about, hey, this week's about, things are about to kick. We say it like every week, like something's going to happen, but this week for sure, rumors are going to not just be rumors anymore. we have real free agency right around the corner, and we can actually see what's going. You're good, brother.
That'll do it, man. That'll do it.
We get to actually see what's going on here. And back to Danielle Hunter, though. Yeah, what do you think he ultimately is going to be a Viking next year? Obviously, in my opinion, if we don't re-sign Kirk, I do think there's a better chance Danielle Hunter stays. But what are you thinking?
So I think no matter, like you said, no matter what, I think Danielle tests the market. I mean, the first contract he signed was a year too early. Bad money for him. He could have gotten so much more had he waited a year and just done what he did. He'd have made so much more money that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously the injuries and the 1-year Band-Aid deals. For me, I do not blame Danielle Hunter one bit for going out and just wanting to get as much money as he possibly can. And I think I heard there's the rumor out there that he's looking for a deal, $20 to $25 million per year. And there was also the report in the same thing with Justin Jefferson, where they're expected to sign him, that they are trying to get some sort of a deal with Danielle Hunter. So I do think, is that, I know a lot of people said, was that report basically confirmation that Kirk's gone? Because everybody always thought it was going to be one or the other when it came to Kirk and Danielle. I think it's more likely Danielle resigns here, but there's the farther we get into this offseason, the more things that kind of come out and the more things you hear about him. I think Danielle Hunter walks. I think he's able to find some better money elsewhere. And I don't know. I think that, and I hate to say it, because I do think keeping Danielle Hunter around, obviously that does take, you don't need to focus on edge rusher in the draft when there's so many other positions you do need to look at. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, the farther we get into this and the longer we go, something tells me that Danielle Hunter will not be a Minnesota Viking next season. So if you're asking me yes or no, just like Kirk, I say no. I think Danielle walks.
Yeah. In my opinion, and hey, Purple Haze, we're going to circle back to this actually with Christian Wilkins, yep. But I think if Kirk stays, I mean, who knows? I mean, there's who knows what's real with the whole cap space thing, if it's all fake or whatever. But I would say if Kirk stays, I think Danielle Hunter's more likely to leave. If Kirk is gone, I think Danielle Hunter is more likely to leave or to stay. And even if Kirk is here, the reason why I think there's a chance that Danielle Hunter stays is I just think that we appreciate him more than other teams. More than the media for sure. Like we see what Danielle Hunter is more than a lot of these other teams. And it's not just that. So I do think, like, if we put on the table, like, obviously we have to find some middle ground here, but let's say it's $20 million a year. If he goes out and he sees like these other teams aren't really giving him much more, or it's around the same, like if it comes to us competing head to head with another team, I think he picks the Vikings all day. Like he's literally said he would love to be a Vikings for the rest of his career. I think he really likes our organization, which I don't blame him, because they're number 2 this year, last year, number 2 throughout the entire NFL for the best organizations. And I think I think our team is perfect for him and his personality and his play style and everything. So I do think unless someone really pays him quite a bit more, I wouldn't be surprised to see him back. And I think I would say, again, I think that's ultimately what I'll say. If Kirk Cousins stays, I'll say Danielle Hunter probably goes. If Kirk Cousins is gone, I think Danielle Hunter will ultimately stay. I think out of any of these edge rushers in free agency, I think he's going to be the one that we get a better deal on. I think he's better than some of these other guys that they have ranked higher than him. So I'm all with Danielle Hunter staying and Kirk Cousins going. That's my prediction. Yeah. Kirk Cousins goes, Danielle Hunter stays. Let's go for like Barber.
But if they could make that work, I would 100% be fine. Don't get me wrong, I want Danielle Hunter back. I don't know. Right. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah. Which is obviously definitely fair. So a couple other guys. So I picked a couple more from our team to kind of go through. One,
DJ Wanham in there as well when talking about edge rushers, which I'd like to see. I think DJ Wanham comes back as well. I think he gets a cheaper deal because of the injury, and I think
I could see it. I could also see him going too, just because he does have the injury. I mean, he definitely stepped up last season. It just depends. If we keep Danielle Hunter, I don't think you're worried as much. I think you're going defensive. I think you're going edge early, regardless of Danielle Hunter gone or staying. So I don't know. it just depends if they want to pay one. But I would not be surprised. It's a low leverage move. It's not that big of a deal. Same with a couple of these other ones. Starting with middle linebacker Jordan Hicks. I know a guy that you definitely like. You liked him. You liked the signing last year when a lot of people weren't big on it, including myself. I didn't expect to see him around. He showed out. I mean, obviously he has some injuries, but other when he was starting, he was looking fantastic out there. He was the leader. He's leading Ivan Pace Jr. He's leading these other linebackers. If we lose him, there's a big hole in the linebacker room, in the middle linebacker group, or interior linebackers, or whatever what is it called? It's
off-ball linebackers,
middle. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it'll be a big hole. And then this is just something else that we have to either go somewhere else for, or we're going to have to go into the draft for somewhere there, which you might not find someone. So if you're going to go out, and it feels like a position that you're going to go out and fill with a veteran presence anyways, you feel like if you're going to do that, it's probably going to just be Jordan Hicks again.
Right. And you are right, because last year when we signed him, everybody thought he was going to be a cap casualty. I felt like there was some value there. I said, no, he's not an explosive linebacker, but he's consistent. He's a good tackler. He's a good locker room guy. And he basically proved every single one of those things last year. And to the next level up in this Brian Flores defense. I thought he played really well last year. If they're able to get him back, and here's kind of where I'm at with, like, I think with Harrison Smith, you approach him, either say we're cutting you and we're saving 11 million, or you drop your cap number down so we save 11 million. I think you take that money, and one of the guys that you use that money on is Jordan Hicks, and bring him back on this defense. And I don't know. I think you need to keep that veteran presence. It's not a big linebacker draft, not a lot of huge names out there in free agency. So I would definitely love to be able to bring him back and just say you're solidified at your starting linebacker spot.
Mm-hmm.
So
what do you think about this? Actually, this is a good question. Let's say you could get, so this is with Gary. Do we try a low cost price deal with incentives for Davenport? So obviously Davenport didn't live up to what was it? Like, it was over 10 million, $12 million that we paid him last year, mostly because of injuries. When he was out there, he did look good, and he was a disruptor. And
see you later, man. Thanks for hopping in.
Hey, what's up? But we were, what was I say? Oh, with Davenport, that if he was to take a deal, let's say, I don't know how much you would want for him. What up, Skol for Life?
Come on, man.
What's up? I keep getting distracted here. With Davenport, if he was to take a similar deal to, I don't know what you're looking for. Let's say he took $5 million a year. Obviously, that's quite a bit lower. He should not cost a lot of money. If he's asking anywhere near what he got last year, it'd be an absolute no. But if you were able to get him for cheaper, or even like a similar deal to Wanham, who are you going to? Who are you picking between him and Davenport?
Wanham.
You are?
Davenport, the injury history, plus the fact that you felt like he didn't want to play this last year. Like, I don't know. I just didn't like the vibe I got from him. It just felt kind of like.
But when he played, he looked good.
Yeah, he was. But I don't know. I ain't about Davenport. But
yeah, I would say I'd keep my mind open with that. I think I'd still think overall that he probably is a better player than Wanham. He definitely has more upside than him for sure. And if you got him for really cheap, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Obviously, right. Don't do what you did last year for sure.
Yeah. But before we move on to the next guy, I just want to bring up Music and Misery's comment here. I see Smith dropping his cap to finish his career with us. Exactly. So if you basically find a way to save $11 million, whether by cutting him or keeping him, if you could keep him again, if you keep Harrison Smith, it's one less position you need to worry about drafting and or signing in the offseason. You can shift your picks and your money elsewhere. But if you could save $11 million, and within that $11 million, because the Vikings per over the cap have $37 million in cap space right now. So if you're able to save $11 million from Harrison Smith and spend that money to keep Jordan Hicks and this next guy who is offensive lineman Dalton Reisner.
Hey, but before I bring that up again, everybody in here, Jordan Addison rookie card giveaway. Get those hashtag Skols in here. I think we only have what up Angler in the building. What up Angler? Only 4 entries right now. Hey, we'll give it away regardless. So get those hashtag Skols. Like the video if you haven't already. All that good stuff. Like Casey was saying, though, another guy on the list, and I think this is a guy that a lot of people probably would want to bring back.
Right. And if you can fit him and Jordan Hicks within that $11 million you save from Harrison Smith, that'd be huge. And those are my
Yeah,
two
and
guys that I would spend that money on.
and you might be able to
Probably still
get. I
have some
mean,
left
you
over.
might not even need that much
Well,
to grab
exactly,
them
yeah.
both.
You'd have some left over still. But those
And
are
then
two guys
again,
that I would think right away. As soon as you drop that cap number of Harrison Smith, boom, these two guys come in.
and again, it's a situation like Hicks where it's like you get a veteran guy who's been on this team who was very rock solid for us last year. Because if you let him go, then you have a guard position to absolutely fill. Whether you do that, unless you go and grab a better player in free agency, or you're going to have to draft a guy. But in this draft, like I'm not trying to get a offensive lineman early. I would not like to. Like maybe in the fourth round,
Beebe in the fourth round,
if he's even there. Because I guess, and what's just funny, because we were on top of BB early by accident, and he was like the number one rising interior offensive lineman from the combine.
He's gonna be a stud.
So there's a chance that he's not even there in the fourth round anymore. So that's the situation with this. So I'd rather feel comfortable there. I want to focus on these holes that we have in defensive interior, edge rushers, cornerbacks. I think we absolutely need to do that. And if we can bring some rock solid players back like Dalton Reisner or Hicks, obviously there's players out there that would be upgrades to them probably, but it's a move it's a low risk move, won't cost you tons of money, and you'd be able to get them back for that. So I'm on team bring Dalton Reisner back, even if you still draft a guard at some point in the draft.
Well, exactly, because then like we talked about on Bleacher Report, Reisner has center experience, so you could always kick him inside to center, and get another left guard, or move Ingram back to his left guard spot that he played in college and you get a new right guard. Anything would work, but Dalton Reisner is one of those guys I would very much like to see back.
Yeah, dude, 100%. So I don't know. Hopefully we see that. I think that was a really good point, though. If there was a chance we could move him to center, and if we get a rookie guard and he comes in and looks, rock solid in there. So those are the guys. I mean, I guess those are the players of all of our free agency. You could add one of them in there, but these are the four I'm kind of looking at is guys that I would like to maybe see here. I'm not married to any of it. I think I'd rather see if it was between Reisner and Hicks, in my opinion. I think I would bring Reisner back just because I don't want to have to worry about that area anymore.
Yeah,
but I ultimately think you see both those guys back. So far, I mean, we got Kirk Cousins.
I think they both want to be here.
We think Kirk Cousins is gone. You think Danielle Hunter is probably gone. I think if Kirk Cousins is gone, I think Danielle Hunter stays. We both think Jordan Hicks and Dalton Reisner ultimately is going to be back. Hey, what up, Skol? TY Catch? What up? Definitely need to keep Reisner. Not only was solid on field, he was a great locker room guy. Yeah, which was funny because that was
Jordan Hicks too. Same thing. That's exactly my thoughts with Jordan Hicks as well.
I think there's rumors about character issues during his little stint of not being signed or whatever.
Well, he had the shoving match with Brett Ripien. 2022 is what it was, and he joked about that when he got here too. So
yeah, so I'm like, it'd be nice to have him back.
Yeah,
definitely. So as far as other players, if Kirk Cousins is gone, you save up some cap space there. Well, technically you still have 27 million on the cap because of us before. I do not want to kick that money down the road. Obviously other players from other teams, other free agents that we like. And who was it earlier that brought it up? I think it was Purple Haze. This guy right here, who I think officially today did not get franchise tag, so he will be going into free agency, and that is defensive interior Christian Wilkins from Miami. What's your thoughts on him, and what do you think? Do you think that's a guy the Vikes should go for?
He is my number one target for free agency this offseason. He's like, if the Vikings make a splash signing, I want it to be him. 9 sacks last year from that defensive interior spot. And you and I both, even going back to last offseason, we both agreed that they didn't have enough beef in that interior defensive line. And to get a guy like that, yeah, he's not going to be like your Tavondre Sweat nose tackle type guy, but he's going to be your impact defensive interior lineman who can get after the quarterback. And that's what we need. So basically he would come in and replace what you had in Bullard last year. So, right. And this team does still need a nose tackle. I wouldn't be mad if they were able to somehow get Tavondre Sweat. Like, I mean, if they could, like, with the interior of their line, if they could somehow get Tavondre Sweat, Harrison Phillips, and Christian Wilkins, to me, that would be the absolute dream because we did not get enough pressure from our interior defensive line. And if you bring Danielle Hunter back, great. If you don't, you're going to have to end up drafting a guy. If you can find a way to get into a Chop Robinson or a Darius Robinson and add them over there along with the DJ Wanham and whoever else you bring back there. And I know we talked about this on Bleacher Report. I'll bring it up again right now to where, like, yes, I think this team needs corners. This team needs help at cornerback. But I think first off, I think for me, defensive line, specifically defensive tier, is more important because I think that if we were able to get more pressure, which one of our biggest issues was getting pressure from the interior. If we were able to get pressure more often and better, it's going to help your cornerbacks, right? And I think no, Byron Murphy wasn't that cornerback one we were hoping he could be, but he was still solid at times. I still think he'll be back next season. Probably. So you're going to have him. You're going to have you still have Mekhi Blackman, who played well last year. I do think there's untapped potential in guys like Andrew Booth Jr. and in guys like a Caleb Evans. I do still think, yes, you need to get another free agent as well as draft a guy. But for me, I think you need, and Xavier Howard is an option for sure. Obviously that would be huge if we could get him relatively cheap. But I think this team needs defense interior help more than they need.
Kirk Cousins is gone. No re-sign for Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. But to me, Christian Wilkins, numero uno free agent for the Vikings to sign. I think it would fix so many of our issues just to get a guy who could get some pressure from the interior. So for me, he is way up at the top of my list, more than any corner, more than any other position. So for me, Christian Wilkins, man, I would love for him to be our splash signing this offseason. I think he would help so many issues that we saw in that defense from last year.
Definitely. And like FT Matty Man says, Flores drafted Christian Wilkins. And this brings up another guy who wasn't drafted by him, but another guy on the defense that everybody already is talking about. And that is going to be Xavier Howard, a guy that played in Brian Flores' defense. And I'm assuming, I never dug into his stats when Flores was there, but I'm assuming, hey, what up, Skol Mafia? I'm assuming they were pretty good. But Xavier Howard, last 2 seasons, not very great. I think he had, I don't know what his PFF was from last year. I think it was like 50 something. It was just not good. But I do think you're going to probably pay a little extra for his name, but I think you could get a good deal for him, similar to what we did with Patrick Peterson, and it'd bring the veteran presence we definitely need in that cornerback room, I think, especially once Patrick Peterson left, and a guy that already knows Brian Flores' defense. And I do think this would be a really good move, and one that we'd be able to, I don't know how much it would cost, but I mean, probably a couple years, if we could get a couple years, like 10 million a year, something similar to that, something what we did with Byron Murphy last year, potentially. Yeah, what's your takes on Xavier Howard? Got too much baby mama going on. I'm good on him.
Bring in that's the thing. If you could get him relatively at a good price, I'd be fine with that. I mean, because yes, this team does still need one more veteran corner, and obviously him, having familiarity with Brian Flores' defense. I think he definitely would be help. If you could find a way to bring in him and Christian Wilkins, I think that would be a W free agency period.
Yeah. Obviously, I'd rather
vet corner and being able to get a defensive interior guy that can get after the passer. And then at that point, I mean, and actually I saw Purple for the Win was high on the guy that Yogi pointed out.
Xavier. Xavier. Yeah, my bad.
Nose tackle from Texas A&M.
It's catch. Oh, my bad.
I know that. Purple for the Win's pretty high on him as well. So I mean, if you could get your run stuffing nose tackle later on in the draft and bring in your impact guy and another corner in free agency, and then use your first round pick on a quarterback and try to somehow keep your second round pick and spend that on an edge rusher, even if Danielle Hunter stays. For me, that would be such a win for this team. It would be insane. Like you can feel so many positions of need there.
I would not be opposed to, obviously, I mean, getting Wilkins, getting a guy on the interior, I think would be the best option we could do in free agency. And outside of quarterback, the best option we could do in the draft if we didn't grab a guy in free agency. But I would not be mad if we did put some decent money towards one of these young cornerbacks in free agency. That's a good thing about this free agency. And another reason why it's nice to open up as much capital as we can is this free agency is just topped out with positions of need for us. It's topped out with defensive interiors, topped out with edge rushers with cornerbacks. There's so many cornerbacks. I mean, you could get Jeff Okodu, who has not really shown a lot, but I mean, just a handful of years ago was a number 3 pick overall. You probably get him for like next to nothing. Like, this cornerbacks are deep, and I wouldn't mind grabbing if we didn't get Howard and we decided like, let's go get a young cornerback just to solidify at least one side of the field there. I'm all in for that as well. And especially if you don't end up re-signing Danielle Hunter. If you don't re-sign Danielle Hunter, I think you have enough money, and especially if you don't re-sign Kirk Cousins, I think you have enough money for Wilkins and a more of a top tier cornerback going into this draft. I know Snead with Kansas City is getting franchised, and we'll see what happens with some of these other guys, but there's plenty of cornerback talent there. And I would not mind, in my opinion, I think cornerbacks very an underrated need for us, which is surprisingly underrated because everybody's been talking about cornerback for the last handful of years. But because Flores came in and was able to do well with what he had, but I feel like he's the Band-Aid to the secondary. And I do think it is really important for us to feel something there. So I wouldn't mind getting someone that's even better. Yeah. Jalen Johnson might be available. I mean, here, actually, let me just bring up, I'm going to bring up the NFL.com's free agency board here.
Good undrafted player as well. Yeah, I mean, Quasi's been pretty good with the undrafted free agents.
Yeah,
I mean,
he does. Hey, this is going to be his best draft.
It has to be
his best draft.
It absolutely has to be.
This last year's draft I think it's underrated. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you didn't
Jordan
have
Addison hit. Outside of that, though, I mean,
Blackman's very solid. We didn't get
Ward, he's not lining up offsides on kicks. He's pretty good
for sure. All right, let's see here. Let me bring this up because there's a lot of options. That's why if there's a free agency where we had money to spend, I feel like it would be this one. All right,
37 million already, could potentially save another 10, getting rid of Harrison Smith or getting a pay cut.
So obviously Chris Jones, I'm assuming
we're out there.
Back, yeah. Chris Jones, Kirk Cousins, number 2. He's going somewhere. He'll be out there probably.
Right.
Josh Allen, obviously another good edge here, who kind of went under the radar for a second there. I think he got traded. No, I'm thinking of someone else. Who am I thinking? Who got traded to Washington? Why did I thought that was Josh Allen? It was a different player from them. Christian Wilkins at 4, Brian Burns, who kind of had an off season. So I'm surprised he's this high up here. That's why I'm like, Danielle Hunter had a way better season than Brian Burns, in my opinion. And that's why I'm surprised that you don't see him here. That's why I'm saying he doesn't get the respect he deserves. L'Jarius Need, obviously he's going to get franchise tag, as you see here.
Matabuki is a name that I've heard.
Another name, Antoine Winfield. Like, all these guys are positions of need. Even Kirk Cousins, technically, once he's gone. Right. Antoine Winfield Jr. And we can get into him in a little bit here. Danielle Hunter at 9. Mike Evans did re-sign. Jalen Johnson, Michael Pittman Jr., Tyron Smith. You don't need that. Saquon Barkley, that could be a sneaky one if you can get him for a good deal. But I'm kind of leaning towards going to the draft for that. Jonathan Greenard, another edge. Michael Onwenu, I can never say names. Onwenu, whatever. Obviously a guard, interior. Leonard Williams, that could be a solid one. He didn't really work out for Seattle. Yeah, he could be a very good value. He's a guy that could bounce back for sure. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, he's kind of a cornerback safety hybrid. Bryce Huff, Kendall Fuller, Xavier McKinney, Kyle Duggar, Stephon Gilmore. I mean, I don't know who I'd want between him. I'd probably take Xavier Howard's younger, but Stephon Gilmore has been more productive even at an older age than he has. As you see, you don't even see Howard on here. We were talking about linebackers earlier. If we were to lose on Jordan Hicks or let him go, you got Luvu here and you got Patrick Queen here. I know a lot of people are talking about Patrick Queen last year in the draft. I'm kind of glad we didn't. I'm glad we got Ivan Pace Jr. instead. We might not have if we would have got Patrick Queen. So you got centers here. I don't know. Just a lot of positions of need. Chase Young. I'd take a chance on Chase Young.
Brings the Darius back.
It's just filled with positions of need for us. And there's a lot of cornerbacks here. And if you could get Kyle Fuller or Jalen Johnson, like people are mentioning in the comments, man, I don't know. It could be a good one for us. That's why this is one that it's kind of nice if we had as much money as we could get.
Yeah, absolutely. So it'll be fun. I mean, but for me, like we go through that list, just guys I think we could afford and positions that we need. For me, Christian Wilkins has to be my number one most sought after free agent, and hopefully Brian Flores can convince the guys and they can find a way to get it done. I think that again, I think just getting a guy like that on the defensive line, and then obviously I think in the draft you'll see at least one edge rusher and probably another D lineman or two come in as well. I think this Brian Flores defense, where it looked good in spurts last year, I think we could see a much more consistent defense with some good free agency signings and some solid draft picks. So.
Yeah.
And that's all with even getting your quarterback in the first round.
And one more guy before moving on here is
bring him home.
Antoine Winfield Jr.
Bring him home.
Bringing him home. I mean, the Gophers obviously probably grew up here as a kid, all that good stuff. The thing about him, though, is if we were to get rid of Harrison Smith, which honestly, at this point in his career, it doesn't mean you shouldn't grab a guy like Winfield anyways, but we're talking about money. We're talking about positions of need. And even with Harrison Smith gone, I just don't think that will be our biggest one. I'd rather put that money towards a cornerback, in my opinion. So I ultimately don't think you end up. Yeah, and he'll probably get tagged. He'll probably get tagged too. But even if he didn't, I think you'd eventually angler. I don't think you put your money on that position for this team, especially with I think Lewis Cine is going to get at least one more look, whether people like it or not, because you wasted a first round pick in that whole thing.
Hey, spent a first round pick. It's not wasted yet.
It's not wasted yet. It's not wasted
once you give up.
Yeah. So we'll see what's up. But I do think that's what I think happens. I don't think you're going to see Winfield, even if he didn't get franchise tag, which he probably will. I don't think you'd see him.
Well, I mean, and a good point. We also did bring back Theo Jackson as well. So
true.
And I know I think it was Music and the Misery brought up earlier potentially moving just converting Metellus to linebacker. I don't like that because Metellus needs to have that jack of all trades type of like that defensive weapon type guy. Like I don't want to have to pigeonhole him in at linebacker.
Well, if anything, I'd rather see
I'm
him
fine with keeping Jordan Hicks because Jordan Hicks is going to be cheap enough. So
I'd rather see him at strong safety than trying to put him in linebacker spot.
I'd rather see him do what he did last year and just play all over.
Well, that'd be nice. But if you didn't, like, if it came down to it and you're like, all right, we're going in the season with Theo Jackson, Cam Bynum, Lewis Cine, and well, you got Ward too, and Metellus, like there's a chance that Metellus is the best guy for that starting safety spot potentially. Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyways,
in that role he was in last year.
So, yeah, I mean, Combine. What did you think of that? Any of those players that you like?
Well, I watched the 40s of some of the defensive tackles. Kind of kept an eye on them on the NFL Network's draft profile. But I did do I watched. Obviously, I watched JJ McCarthy throw when it was live on TV. I went back after and watched some Bo Nix and I watched some Michael Penix, and I mean, I thought you saw kind of what you were hoping to see out of some of these guys. Like McCarthy, he did miss a couple throws, but I do think you kind of saw what you needed to see from him there. Michael Penix, I think, showed off his arm, which we obviously knew. I mean, it didn't do it. I don't think it really did anything one way or like nobody had an Anthony Richardson type combine, right? Like no one had this thing where they're just
barely
like,
anybody worked out.
Right. Well, right. That's part of it too. But like no one like JJ McCarthy didn't necessarily like have that thing like where it's like, oh damn, like he moved himself up to being a top 10 pick. I think people kind of saw him and they're just like, yeah, this is what we expected. He solidified himself as a first round quarterback.
Yeah, and I agree. I think so overall with JJ McCarthy, he kind of started off a little bit sloppy earlier on, and I felt like he just I personally felt like he was missing more than I wanted him to. But later on, when you can see how far he can throw, not just how far, but he came second to Joe Milton in velocity with a 61 mile per hour throw. So obviously he has what it takes to have the arms to pass in the NFL from an arm standpoint. So that was really nice to see. I wouldn't say he didn't like blow me away or anything like that. It wasn't like an obvious, like, oh, he should. Some people say he should, out of all these quarterbacks, he'll have the biggest biggest rise, but I think that was already the case prior. I don't think he really did anything to me to make me think like, oh, he's for sure going to be top 10 now,
Right.
in my opinion. Some people think Bo Nix was kind of similar. I think Bo Nix was in a similar spot as JJ McCarthy. I think he threw pretty similar to him. Michael Penix, what most people, and including myself, had the best day as far as throwing goes. And I mean, I'm not surprised out there with that at all. What up, Two-Tone Tony?
Oh, man.
What's up? What's up? I'm not surprised at all.
Right.
Obviously, I'm not. I think he arguably has the best arm talent in this entire draft. It's just the other parts of his game that I think you have to worry about. And obviously, he's 24 years old as well, and his injuries, which did come back completely clean, and he'll be ready to go, which is a big step for him. And a lot of people were concerned about that. So I do think Michael Penix I think this would probably helped him the most. It'll be nice to see if he decides to run in his pro day, which he should. He's healthy, so I don't see why not. And then same with all these other guys. It just sucked that you didn't really get to see them work out at all, which isn't super important for a quarterback position, but I wish you did a little bit.
I mean, but watching T'Vondre Sweat have the 5.27,
the 5.27,
dude can absolutely. I know Brandon Fisk helped, or Braden Fisk helped himself out a lot in the combine. I know people like he got a lot of hype after his performance at the workouts. Receiver wise, a couple blazing fast receivers. I know Xavier Worthy looked good.
He broke the record
flying. So the fact that Texas had both Adonai Mitchell and Xavier Worthy, like you see why that team was so damn good.
Right, and made it as far as they did.
And then obviously, I didn't think that Odunze was gonna work out. He did, and he looked like Rome Odunze.
Yeah, no, he's the only one. That's why some people have him going high, because he's the only one of the top 3 that worked out.
Yeah.
Which I like. I get why some people don't. I don't get why all these other quarterbacks that might not even get drafted, I feel like, didn't work out. But I respect the players that decide to do it. I mean, I don't know.
But like,
it takes a little guts, I guess.
But like watching that, you see the difference between these guys who have first round talent and the ones that don't, right? Like I think McCarthy, Penix, Bo Nix, even Spencer Rattler, like those guys all look better than Hartman and the kid from Kentucky. Like, and obviously I know Joe Milton had the arm, but everything else you're just kind of like, right? And like you watch him live and you just see some things he doesn't do well. So I mean, like
great angler.
So I mean, like you see the difference between these first round talent quarterbacks and the ones that just will probably end up being 4th, 5th, 6th round picks that you just keep on your bench. You're, hey, if they work out, great. If not, whatever. Like that's one thing at least. You saw that these guys are worthy of being drafted where they're going to be drafted.
Mm-hmm. A couple other guys that I watched and wanted to see is the Senior Bowl. I don't know if he won defensive. Is there a defensive MVP during the Senior Bowl?
I think so. Who are you talking about?
Mitchell, cornerback from Toledo.
Oh, Quinion Mitchell.
Yeah. So I thought he had a really good combine. I mean, he ended up running like a 4.33 or 4.29, something stupid like that. So he's someone that I watched for sure. But not him. So there was him. Like you said, T'Vondre Sweat ended up running a 5.27 at being like 40 pounds heavier than the next player. So I think that was a big one there. But the one that turned my head the most, the one that I was really paying attention to, I have to go watch their tape still to really kind of look into it. But the guys between the edge rushers between Dallas Turner, Jared Verse, and Latu, they're kind of going all over the place in a lot of people's boards and stuff like that. And I was thinking like that's what's good about the combine. I think a lot of it's blown out of proportion where these guys run a fast 40 and now they're a first round pick and it ends up not working out a majority of the times. But if there's like a spot where you don't know who to take and they're just going up and down, like the guy who does really well at the combine might do enough to separate himself. And I think Dallas Turner did separate himself.
Yeah.
What did he end up having here?
I know it was quick. And I know, like, it's speaking on that point as well, it's something that, again, Purple for the Win was kind of talking about. He said, like, if someone's in college and they have all these athletic traits, and then they go to the combine and those don't measure out on like their 40 times or whatever else they do.
Yeah.
He's like, that does bring up some concerns, like what happened between season and combine to where now you just don't seem as athletic as you were before. So I think that's kind of a big thing. But yeah, like there's a lot of people that take
and Chop Robinson.
Yeah. Kind of like the John Ross effect, to where he ran a fast 40, he had the record, and then he got drafted. Like, was he good? No, but he was fast, and they took that way too much into account than way more into account than it needed to be.
Yeah, and Chop Robinson will for sure. I mean, he'll end up being a first-round pick just because of that. And I think he was like a mid-second round?
Yeah,
maybe a little earlier second round.
Right.
And he's
going Turner ran a 4.46.
Yeah, so Turner ran which is insane. So Turner, 6'3", 247 pounds, almost 250, ran a 4.46, 154 split, 40.5 vert, and a 10-foot 7-inch broad jump, which is insane for that size. We've seen crazier things, but as far as I think he really separated himself big time from a lot of these edge rushers, especially since he was arguably the number one edge rusher coming out. I think he's going to be a top 10 pick probably, which is what we were hoping for, because if everyone decides to pick quarterbacks early, you might have a guy like that. Because a lot of people are talking about Chop Robinson, which is definitely fair, who's 6'3", 254. And he had a 4.48, so he's like 5 pounds heavier than Dallas Turner. Dallas Turner had 4.46 to 4.48 from Chop Robinson. Chop Robinson had a 1.54 split. So did Dallas Turner. 30, but Chop Robinson had a 34.5 vertical, where Dallas Turner had a 40.5 vertical, and then their broad jump was about the same. So overall, I think in my opinion, like Dallas Turner, like no, everyone want to talk about Chop Robinson probably because he's a second-round pick, but Dallas Turner, I still think ultimately had the better combine. And if we're sitting there at 11 and we're not grabbing a quarterback early because no one wants to trade with us, then at this point, I think you make Dallas Turner your guy. I want to look into him more still, but I definitely can see it. What up, Gary? Welcome in.
Dylan, of course. Dylan's
hey, Dylan. What's up, my guy? What up, Dylan? Speaking of that, Dylan, I think he needs to get that wrench gang.
Really? He's gonna call you out first for being a part-timer, then you're gonna go ahead and,
oh yeah. That's all right. I'm back now. It's all good. I'm back for good.
I'll be the part-timer. I'm taking Wednesday off.
Yeah, I'll be here Wednesday. Casey's gone. So yeah, I mean, overall combine, I mean, for me, that's what I was looking at. I mean, I was looking at positions and watching some of these quarterbacks. I think Mitchell only made himself look better. A guy that I didn't really know if he was supposed to be known for his, what's the Alabama kid's name?
Which one?
Cornerback.
Terry and Arnold? No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He didn't really do that well. Nate ran like a 4.6 something.
Nate Wiggins had a good 40, and then
Nate Wiggins had a really good 4.30.
Pulled his hamstring, didn't he?
Yeah, that was him who did that, wasn't
After
it?
Running the 40,
yeah. So I don't know. Some of these guys are good. It was nice to see. I do think there was going to be some more. What does it say? Like stable rankings of some of these rookies now, specifically in those areas. As far as quarterback goes, I don't know. I think a lot could change with their pro days. That's going to be important. I think you see all these quarterbacks play better, even with some of JJ McCarthy's throws. When I was watching him, like people say he was throwing over. I'm like, I don't know. I felt like the route wasn't great by the wide receiver, but whatever. Maybe I'm being biased, even though I'm a JJ McCarthy. I like JJ McCarthy, but I'm not like, he's not like my top guy or nothing.
Right.
Hey everybody, again in a bit here we'll do a mock draft. We'll do a post combine mock draft, but again, everybody in here, we're giving away Jordan Addison rookie card. Get the hashtag Skols if you haven't already. Like the video if you haven't already, and subscribe if you haven't already. Of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very credible source says Kirk is moving family to Atlanta.
Who's the credible source?
I don't know, but I believe it.
There.
I believe it. Yeah, get him there. I don't know. I think that's Kirk Cousins. He's going to be gone probably.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my gut feeling right now.
Unless he goes out and just cannot get what.
Right.
But I think he will.
I think Atlanta. And again, when he talks about, I think Atlanta will be willing to give him 3 years, $100 million with guarantees in all 3 years to where he'll be pretty set there. But,
me too.
But yeah, man. I mean, again, like with the combine, it's always fun. Like it's just real football stuff. And like some of the big stuff to come out of it is the rumors, which there have been over the last week, plenty of little Vikings nuggets, which we've kind of already talked about. And if you guys don't know those already, then I guess you live under a rock. I don't really know. But a couple, other Vikings nuggets with mainly Kirk Cousins and stuff about Daniil Hunter and all this other type of stuff as well. But I don't know. It's just exciting to have like new things to talk about. And the fact that we're 1 week away from free agency, and technically Monday is when like the legal tampering period kind of kicks off. So, I mean, it's going to heat up, and it's going to heat up fast, and we're going to know a lot about this team and how the team's going to look going within the next couple months here. Did we talk about the Justin Fields rumors yet? Did we talk about those at all?
No.
Today? How the Vikings are a name to watch when it comes to a potential team that might trade for Justin Fields, which I don't know if the Bears would do that, and if they did, like you said earlier, it'd be concerning. And B, I don't really want Justin Fields on this team. I don't know. I think he wants to be a run first guy. He doesn't want anyone to try to change that. And I don't think that fits with kind of what we're looking for.
Yo, Skol Mafia. I was trying to bring it on Twitter. I forgot I deleted my history, and we're struggling to sign into our Twitter accounts on our computers.
Yeah, I'll
have to check on my phone. Yeah, I know. I need to figure that out. I just tried to go in there and it signed into. I don't know what's with that other account. Anyways, Justin Fields. So 2 first rounders, 2 seconds, and a third for JJ or Jaden, or a second for Justin. So 2 first rounders, 2 seconds, and a third for JJ.
Not for JJ. No.
Jaden
Daniels.
Yeah. JJ McCarthy. I don't know. I still think he's a guy that if he was there at 11, I think you take him. Maybe if you trade up for him and we think he's our guy, I'll be like, okay. But I'm not convinced. I'm not ready to be like, I'm going to trade my future for McCarthy. I think there's a lot you need to. He's still a big question mark, though. I do like a lot what I see from him. I just don't think. I think you're taking a bigger gamble if you're going to move up for a guy like him compared to Daniels. But as far as your point goes, 2 first rounders, 2 seconds, and a third for JJ or Jaden, or a second for Justin Fields. And I think that's a good point, because that's where I come from. Because I think Justin Fields has gotten better as a passer. I don't think he's only trying to be nothing but a running quarterback.
But he literally said that himself. He was mad at the coaching staff for trying to make him into somebody he's not. They were trying to turn him into a passer first and a runner second. He doesn't want to do that.
He showed last year that he came or looks better. I mean, to the point where it wasn't so obvious at the end of the season whether they should move on from him for Caleb Williams.
I thought it was obvious.
Yeah, you were in the
people that don't want the Bears to have Caleb Williams didn't think it was obvious, but me just sitting back and watching, I'm like, how can you guys not see that this is obvious?
I don't know. I still think that kid has potential. I think the Bears think he has potential. When I trade for him, this is what I would do. I want a quarterback in the draft. I don't want Justin Fields, really.
You have to pay him.
No, I'm not convinced Justin Fields is going to be a bust by any means. And I think there's a chance that he could be a good quarterback in this league still. But if I'm going,
he's had 3 years, he's already a bust.
I don't know. His stats aren't even that terrible. I don't think he's as bad as some Viking fans want to believe. I mean, we were talking about some people thought it was crazy that he'd be a third. Someone would give a third for him. And I was the only one that said that there's no way he doesn't go for at least a second.
2,500 passing yards, 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions isn't bad stats.
It's not terrible. How many rushing yards? I mean, that's not terrible. 16 touch, and he was injured for a bit. I think he has, but overall, I think he has potential to be a good quarterback
this year in 13 games.
But that being said, I want a quarterback in the first round. I want to grab. What's that?
You bring in Justin Fields and it works, then you got to pay him right away, which is kind of goes against the whole thought process anyway. Yeah, we got to pay JJ and Christian Darrisaw a lot of money, and the reasons that we think we can afford to pay them that money is because we want to bring in a rookie quarterback who's going to be on a cheap deal for at least 4 seasons. So I thought, like, that's the whole point of all this. Is because we feel like this offense is set for a young quarterback.
Unless you have a franchise quarterback,
extend him right away, and then you're sitting there. It's like, well, shit. Now we have all this money back into the quarterback position, which is exactly what we were trying to avoid this whole time.
Well, yeah, but if he ends up being, I mean, ultimately, our main goal is to find a franchise quarterback that can be the franchise quarterback for years to come. That's more.
Yeah, but then you're sitting right back where you're at again, where you're cramped for money, is because now you have a top quarterback, a top paid quarterback, a top paid wide receiver, a top paid left tackle, and a top paid tight end, and you're like, well, frick, now what?
I mean,
Like the whole point is a quarterback on his rookie deal. That's
that would be nice. It's optimal. That's why I would. I am on team. I want a franchise quarter. I don't care about the. I do care about the rookie contract thing, but more importantly, I want a good quarterback. So in this scenario, I want to grab a quarterback in the first round, some way, somehow. I want a guy, specifically one of the top 4 with Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, and JJ McCarthy. And if that doesn't happen, maybe if you decided to go take a chance on Knicks or Michael Penix in the second round, I'm not convinced by that, but I'd be like, okay, you know more than me probably. But if that was the case, and if we left this draft with no quarterbacks and we were able to trade, and we know next year is going to be not very good from the quarterback position, and you got
maybe better than you think.
Got Justin Fields for a second, because if Justin Fields was in this draft right now with what he's shown in the NFL, I bet you he would go in the first round.
Late first, I would think, yeah.
Maybe. I mean, you don't got the potential's not there, but he hasn't
shown. What is he? He hasn't shown anything in the NFL. What has he shown?
He hasn't really shown this past. He's shown that he can be a good quarterback at times this past season. He's had a couple good games.
Couple good games. Wow.
I mean, I'm not convinced by it.
A couple good, just like you. I watched 3 games of Michael Penix, and he sucks. 3 games. Woo.
Justin Fields is a second, feels better than what you generally would ever get from a second round pick.
Maybe.
Though the big thing here, and we talked about this on Bleacher Report too, is the number one thing though is if the Bears, that's the overall reason like why you wouldn't grab Justin Fields is if the Bears were comfortable enough to trade him within the division, you can't feel good about that. You can't feel good.
Oh, right, exactly. Yeah.
You can't feel good that the Bears are like trading him to a team. Like if they are worried that he's going to be really good, they're not going to trade him within the division. It would make no sense. If they think he has potential to be a franchise quarterback, you would trade him outside. But if they're thinking like, I think he's kind of ass, then maybe you trade him within the division. So that's like, ultimately, I just don't think that deal would ever get done. If I I would take Penix over Knicks. I'm Penix over Knicks.
I found what Skol Mafia sent us. Florio did write a article here for NBC. We can't get into specifics for now, but we're getting very credible indications that Cousins is seriously considering moving his family to Atlanta, which would mean obviously he'd be signing with the Falcons. So again, yes, but also Florio likes to just talk sometimes. So because he was also the one that said like, oh, Justin Jefferson, he might lose his patience with the team, and they don't want to pay a quarterback, or they don't want to pay a non-quarterback guaranteed money after his first year. Florio could just be talking because that's what Florio does.
Did you see what he said to Caleb Williams?
What did he say?
I think that was him. It had to have been him. Because he's a Viking fan, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He said, "Can you look in this camera right now and say, I will only play for the Minnesota Vikings?"
Did he say it?
No, he just laughed. But you could tell he wishes.
Like, man, if I could.
You know,
Bears fans will hate me now when I go there.
Mafia's on it. Yeah, let's go Mafia.
Yeah, that was the article.
The writing's on the wall. It's been on the wall. It's been so obvious. Whether you like him or not, and I get it, if you like him, you're going to be biased. You want him on the team, but it's like if whether you like him or not, everything was pointing towards him, maybe not leaving, but that he needs to take a team-friendly deal, and whether or not it was up to him whether he would take it or not. And it's not surprising that he wouldn't, and I don't blame him for it.
I mean, I think he would have taken a team-friendly deal per year if it would have been multiple years, which obviously we weren't willing to do. I think both sides are right here. It's right for Kwesi to be like, no, we're not giving you 2 to 3 years with guaranteed money.
When did that come out?
And for him, like 34 minutes ago, I just saw that article pop up.
And
then for him, it's like, well, I'm 36 years old coming off an injury, and I feel like I still have something to give here. So I'm not signing unless it's going to be guarantees. And it still just ain't going to work. And Kwesi even kind of hinted at that at the combine. So I think we're at the point now where I think it's not going to be like an ugly breakup. It's just going to be a mutual, like, hey, we couldn't work something out. Let's go our separate ways here. And I think that's kind of what it's coming down to at this point. And that's really what it's sounding like, where Kirk's like, I can find something better in Atlanta. I get 3 guaranteed years, where here you're going to give me 1, maybe 2, and I get to be their starter, and they have good talent there for me. And for you guys wanted a younger quarterback and you wanted to start over at quarterback. So guess what? You guys get to go do that. So I think it's perfect. I think it's perfect for both sides.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Like, of course, if I'm Cousins, I want a few years, and I want to know that
you're going to be there.
Yeah, that you're going to be there, that you got some guaranteed money. Like, Kirk is obviously, he's literally the GOAT at guaranteed money by far, and he's about to do it again. Yeah, so, I mean, he set himself up perfectly again.
Right, and then
I like Kirk a lot. I think he's a really good quarterback. He doesn't have that it factor, I don't think.
Right.
Like,
like
moments to win the biggest games.
Right. Like, you can't say about every quarterback that if they have a perfect team around them, they're really, really good. You can't, or if they have a good team, you can't say that about every quarterback, right? He's one of those guys you can say that about. Like, if he has a good team around him, he's really, really good.
And he's going to light up teams. Sometimes he's going to get you all the stats that you want, but ultimately it's about trying to win a championship. And regardless if that's with him or not, I mean, it's just, we've had him long enough to be like, it's time for us to go to different directions. We've done this. I mean, even with new with new coaches, new GM, they spent 2 years with Kirk Cousins, and we saw a lot of positives from him, but at that point, it's like, it didn't work. We gave you 2 years. It didn't work. We have to go with a different directions. Otherwise, it could be our jobs.
Right. But they're not even at the point where it's not working. We're going away from it. Like, they wanted to try to work it out and bring him back. It just isn't going to happen. It just, the two sides aren't going to be able to come off what they want. And that's fine. You gotta want what you want. So,
right, Dylan. Hey, dude, he's Kirk Cousins, and that dude, he's a master, man. He's a master at the whole contract situation of this.
Twice. You don't see a quarterback. You don't see like a starting caliber quarterback get to free agency once normally, but twice is insane.
Twice.
But he's going to be able to cash in on a big payday again.
And not to mention that he was making bank during his franchise. Was it 2 or 3 franchise tags? I think it's 2, right?
Yeah, 2.
2 franchise tags, making bank on that to have the first quarterback with a first NFL player with fully guaranteed money. And then he did it twice with us.
Kirk Cousins changed the game, dude.
He literally did it. Now it's bleeding into other positions.
Yeah.
And it could be starting with Justin Jefferson potentially.
But I don't know, man. Crazy stuff. But it's going to be a fun offseason. So I saw someone ask earlier, do we want to do a little post?
Yeah, let's do a little post mock. Yeah. We saw it was our boy Gary. Hey, everybody in here. Again, Jordan Addison rookie card giveaway. Get them hashtag Skols in. Like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Y'all already know. I'll say it over and over again, but it's all good. But Mafia, we stand by our beliefs at times too, bro. Just smart about it. Yeah. As soon as Cousins signs with whoever, he will be in the all-time top 5 earnings as a quarterback. The dude knows what he's doing for sure. Like, it's so funny. Like, I don't know. That guy, that's like the one thing about him though. Is like, I don't blame him for going after the money, but it is interesting for him to go. It'll be interesting to see what he gets from the Falcons instead of trying to stick around with us for a team-friendly deal. I mean, it'll just show him I don't know. I do think it does show that he's definitely definitely leans towards the money side.
If we threw, but again, it's not money, it's structure. I think, like, if we threw 3 years, $100 million at him, where he's not making maybe $33 million a year,
he's a freaking.
I think
over $100 million.
I think he would 100% take that, because he doesn't, like he said, you got to be fair with him. Like, you're not going to offer him $10 million a year. That's not fair. I think for him, it's more of, I want guaranteed money. Like, I don't think and not fully guaranteed. I want guaranteed money for 3 years. So if you do decide you're going to move on and cut me, at least like there's going to be some repercussions to that. I don't think for him, it's not about the money. It's about what the money means. Like he said, it's about how many years am I getting with guaranteed money? Like for him, it's not about, I want to make the most money possible. It's, I want to be guaranteed I'm going to be somewhere. And I get that.
Yeah, I get it, but I mean, it does. I mean, when you've already made over $100
But it's not, no,
million,
but it's not the point. It's
but
not.
you're 30. It's not the point. If you can do it, I don't blame you. But 30, if you're 36, going on 37, and you want 3 years fully guaranteed at
But it's
40
not.
years old, I mean, you're reaching. I feel like you're reaching a bit. He's doing shit that nobody's ever done.
Right,
with money.
But so okay, someone offers him fully guaranteed money, $10 million a year. You think he should take it?
No, I don't know.
No, exactly. So here's what I'm saying.
But if you got offered 35 million,
you guys are sitting here making it sound like I'm saying like, oh, he doesn't he doesn't want any money. Like it's not about the money. It's about what does the money mean? The money means guaranteed
yeah,
here.
But can you tell me that
$30 million is a cheap ass deal for Kirk Cousins? So
30,
if he signs a $33 million a year deal for 3 years, and it's not fully guaranteed. I don't think it's going to be fully guaranteed. There's going to be guarantees in all 3 years. So basically, if they do decide to move on, it's going to be repercussions. So you can't just move on from him like that. That's the whole point.
Are you confident saying that he isn't more about the money than winning?
Yes.
See, I'm not confident
now in his career. I don't think it's. I mean, it's about
definitely money driven, right?
No, it's about being wanted by and having and extending your career, which
more than any quarterback in history has ever done.
What do you mean? He signed
like his guarantee. If he gets a fully guaranteed.
No. Stop.
There ever been?
Stop. I said not fully guaranteed. It won't be fully guaranteed.
Well, you were saying that he wants. You said that he would want to. You said he's more worried about the fully guaranteed or at least majority guaranteed compared to.
No. He's worried about having guaranteed.
What up, Zach?
All 3 years of his contract.
I don't know.
Not fully guaranteed, but guaranteed money in every year of the deal.
Yeah,
which isn't fully guaranteed. There's a difference.
But he's very. I mean, he's prioritized it significantly enough.
Not at this point.
I don't blame him. I do think you're correct. I do think you're correct with.
It's not like I need the most money. It's I want to make sure that I'm being guaranteed to be somewhere because I want to keep playing football.
Yeah,
because if he signs a 1-year deal and he comes out and he doesn't play well, guess what? You're fucking done. You're out.
Well, you're 38 years. You're 38 years old and have made hundreds of millions of dollars.
But that's not the point.
I mean, I don't know. Wouldn't you rather at that point in your career? Wouldn't you rather care more about being on a team?
You guys don't. I'm not trying to sit here and say pay him all the fucking money. You guys are taking this way out of proportion. I'm just saying it's not all about he's not sitting here like I'm not signing for anything less than $45 million a year. He will take a cheaper deal as long as there are more years for it.
Yeah. I'm just overall though. I think he wants to win. I think he wants all that stuff, but I do think the money is definitely something that he pays very close attention to the point where
because he's not going to take
if you came up to me
market value contract, that'd be absolutely ridiculous.
Does Kirk Cousins care more about winning or does he care about more money? I'm going to say he cares more about money. I mean, in my opinion, at 36, 37 years old, and you're still trying to get 3 years.
It's not money. It's what the money represents. Like he said, he can go to Atlanta and win because they have pieces for him.
Can he though?
Can he do it here? You don't think so?
Better than Atlanta?
Not necessarily.
He beat Atlanta with freaking Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, because they didn't have a quarterback.
Either did we. We had Josh Dobbs.
You guys are just misunderstanding what I'm saying, and that's just perfectly fine. We're doing a 7-round mock draft.
Let's go.
We'll start.
All right, what are we thinking? So this is the first time we've been on PFF doing this after the combine here. So go back up to see who's gone.
Well, Caleb Williams, Drake May went. Then it went wide receivers, tight ends, wide receiver, tackle.
PFF still passing on Jaden Daniels.
It really is. I mean, and again,
Murphy's up there.
And again, he's not going to be here at this point.
Yeah, how is the average draft? Because the average draft position, that's based on like who other people have picked.
Yes,
I think people.
Average draft position is where he's going in mock drafts.
Yeah. That's crazy, dude.
It is.
Well, I mean, you have to take them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to take them. It is what it is.
wow, that was a. Do you see? That was a
Dallas
huge run on
Turner.
Edge right there.
Yeah, Dallas Turner.
Latu, Dallas Turner, Jared Verse went at 14.
How does Dallas Turner
Crazy.
just have like one of the best combines and he goes lower? Same with Mitchell.
Right.
All right, PFF, you guys got to do some updates if you're watching this,
Drunk.
or sponsor us, and we won't say shit.
Hey, there we go. Sky Uma, Tyler Nubin goes. I mean, it definitely
Oh,
sounds.
I didn't watch on it. Did you see his combine?
I didn't, but I mean,
Yeah.
you had heard so much that he was going to end up being a first round pick, like before the draft, like way early on in the draft process. And now that we're kind of at this point, you're not really hearing his name.
They got Daniels already. Take less to stay. He's going to. Let's see. This is 3 round.
7.
Oh, 7 round.
Yeah. Hey, we could double up. Grab Bo Nix too.
I saw JJ McCarthy just went off the board.
We have
Chop
both
Robinson is looking real nice. Oh, I'm going Chop over your, what's his name?
What do we got? Defensive interior. Oh, okay.
Too.
Can we make a move up and get 2 of these guys?
Look at Sweat still chilling there.
He is. I mean, Jenkins, Fiske, Aurora, Sweat. Those are guys I like.
Okay, so how
then
can
I know
this
was the guy that Yogi was talking about. Obviously not here, but later on.
Yeah.
6'2", 325, basically nose tackle type. So that would be be an option.
Let's I know Taylor, he had a poor showing at the combine, Leonard Taylor. Go back to Robinson, because if we're gonna make a pick here, we have to go him now because his average draft is
right. And obviously with the way that PFF's kind of going, you can get one of those other guys a little bit later on, a defensive interior.
He's gonna be a first round pick. We got to go Chop.
So yeah, I'm definitely down. When I saw him there, that was like the first name that really popped out to me.
Oh, Gary, we need a trade. Oh, we could have did some trade offers. Where are we at right now? Press pause.
So Chris Jenkins just went.
Did we miss out on?
Nope. I believe Fisk is still there. There's still so many options. I mean, obviously we don't have a 3rd round pick, so we'd have, obviously we're not gonna be able to let it run down all the way down to 109.
Yeah.
I say let's try to get top of the maybe early on in the 3rd.
Okay. Yeah, let's keep going.
See what happens. Okay, so far they're all still there. Oh, there goes.
Oh, he's gone. He's got Sweat out there though.
Yeah, Sweat's still there.
Who needs a? So I wish they let you look at who's available.
I know.
That's like an easy fix.
I mean, there's definitely still some defensive interior guys available. A couple of those guys on that list are still there.
Let's see. I guess keep going down a little bit. Let's see. So defensive line.
Lower down a little bit.
Yeah, defensive line. After that, defensive line is in a need for a bit here. So see if they.
Okay. Still there. Like, how far down can we? I mean, obviously.
How did his draft stock go down?
I don't know. There goes Rook.
Okay, let's
keep going until we get, because it looks like there might be a run on some defensive linemen down here.
Okay, let's get right at.
Let's look at
or even the Colts pick.
If it makes it past here. Oh, there we go.
There we go. We messed up.
If he made it past the Bengals, we could have made a move, but at this point,
we messed up.
And there goes Dorless before him too, and Rook. So we lost all of our defensive interior guys. So do we honestly just kind of let it run now till our next pick?
Yeah. Let's just go with it.
I mean, yeah. I suppose we can speed her back up a little bit here then.
I know we should have almost looked to see I didn't see what the trades were in the 2nd round.
Oh yeah, I suppose. I mean, you saw Chop Robinson there, and I mean, I think that's fair. If he's there, no, don't mess around. Just snag him.
Taylor. All right. Who do we got here?
Let's see. So there's our boy Cooper Beebe. I mean, I know we're looking defense here, but
still got another pick soon, right?
Yeah, we got 130. We could probably grab him there too.
Yeah.
What do we got for corner? Anybody?
Kalen King, Max Melton. Who's the fast dude? He probably was already picked. Go to running back.
Shipley.
I like Trey Benson.
This guy really with the fast 40 time kind of.
Trey Benson. I thought he had a really good combine. Really good combine. No defensive line interior.
I mean, there's that guy that. Christian Boyd.
I mean, I'd take a shot on Yogi's guy.
This guy. I mean, and let's assume we bring in Christian Wilkins to where we have our impact defensive interior.
So now we need a defensive.
You get your run stuffer a little bit early based on where he goes here, but I say we grab him. I'm fine with that. And then maybe beef up that offensive line with our next pick if Cooper Beebe makes it.
We do like him.
Which at this point, I guess I don't really. Ooh, there goes that. This is the guy that everybody is really high on now too. It's Muhammad Kamara.
That's right.
14 sacks last year.
What school is that? Michigan State or Colorado State?
Colorado State.
Oh, Colorado State. Yeah. Duh. I literally live like right down the road from that place.
Will Shipley went. So we can get ourselves Cooper Beebe, kind of right where. And then if we want to go running back, you still have Trey Benson there.
I do like him a lot.
Rendo, Dylan Lobb.
I wonder if we trade back up.
You got Dylan Johnson, who's more of a kind of a power type guy.
I'll have to look him. Hey, what up, Zoe?
I mean, he didn't perform super well at the combine. I mean, a little slower, and I think that's kind of his style. No. I was looking at the running back there.
Now I want some speed if we bring in a running back.
Yeah, I mean we could trade back 19 spots. Nah, I don't know. I say we either go with BB or we grab ourselves Trey Benson. We pick again in 15 picks, so maybe.
Oh, we do.
Maybe we're still able
to
get
with Benson
there.
We already picked once in this round.
We have 130 and that's right. No, 130 and 145 still.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's take our chances.
Gonna grab Trey Benson.
Yeah,
take a running back.
Benson. Yep, Dylan Dotson, Benson,
Kalen King,
McCarthy.
Grab him too.
Hey, I'd take a shot at McCaffrey later.
Yeah, right.
Is he still there?
DJ
James.
Oh no! Cooper Beebe.
Damn.
Bad day. Damn. Yep, there he is. Still sitting there.
We'll wait. I'll take a shot on him on the next pick.
Sad.
Our 166 if McCaffrey's there. Damn, that really sucks.
We got Zach Zinter, Drake Nugent. Isn't it crazy? The next three guys are all interior linemen for Michigan.
Look at Zach Zinter. What's his stuff looking like? Pretty mid.
Solid.
6. He's a big boy.
Yeah. Drake Nugent. Yeah, I mean they're not. I mean, obviously, national title winning offensive line.
Let's what do we got? Yeah, what are these cornerbacks looking like? Look at Carson. Yeah. Did we pick him before? No.
I don't think so.
Run defense, great. We need a cover guy.
Yeah.
Click this guy.
Okay.
This is better.
3 interceptions.
Okay.
188. 91.8 coverage grade.
Okay.
I'm down.
What's his average draft? 161.
Maybe we could get him later.
Yeah.
But I guess at this point, like, what else do we really? I mean,
let's grab.
Do you want to grab an interior offensive lineman?
I'm down.
Let's grab Zach Zinter. Probably.
Yeah, might as well.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, let's get down to 157, and we'll pick one of those guys.
Mm-hmm. I'm sad, man. I really wanted Cooper
Beebe. We almost could have had a sweet draft.
We were ahead of the game on Cooper Beebe, man. I'm happy about that. Was this the guy, right?
No. It was. Did he go?
Dwight McGlothern. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the guy.
All right. Yeah.
I'm down. Let's grab him.
All right, we're going McCaffrey here.
You wanna?
Yeah.
I guess we probably will need more receiver help there.
We do. He's gonna be that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
He's McCaffrey.
McCaffrey
faster than his brother in the 40 at the combine. Like, come on now.
Yeah. Definitely.
Dylan Johnson went to the pack.
Speed it up. Oh wait, we still have one more. Oh, we have 2 more picks.
Let's see here. Grab ourselves a tight end.
Eh.
See, what other positions are we looking at here? I mean, we could always maybe try to grab another interior defensive lineman. Good against the run. Yeah.
Hey, what up, Johnny?
What's going on, man? What else? Grab another running back. Frank Gore
Probably
Jr.
not. What else? So, what haven't we drafted? I mean, we could go back to best players available. Tight end, corners. We could try another corner.
Yeah, what is this guy looking like?
Bad.
More of a run defender.
We don't want that. We got enough of them kind
Grab
of
ourselves
players.
a safety. We all like safeties, right?
Yeah. In the later rounds. Hey, there's your boy Casey. He was solid. Oh wait, no, not that solid.
Yeah, God, at this point, I don't even really know. Yeah, I mean, do we look interior offensive line again?
Dwayne the Mock Johnson. We almost had ourselves a good one, but we missed out on a couple players.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
We could double down on guard.
Yeah, I was looking. I didn't love anybody here.
Again, everybody, we're about to give away the Jordan Addison rookie card.
Do we grab
those hashtag Skols in?
Do we grab a tackle?
Hashtag Skols in for the Jordan Addison rookie card.
Do we grab a tackle? This guy wasn't great against the run, but he's a decent pass blocker.
Hey, we'll take him. Yeah, we got a cornerback. We got I forgot what his name was. But yeah, get those hashtags Skols in. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. All that good stuff.
Is there any linebackers that are
about to run this thing?
Any linebackers that are worth it? Not
really. Yeah, we could do that. That'd be a good idea.
We'll see what we got.
I mean,
no,
you can't have enough wide receivers.
Yeah, was good against the run. Can't have enough wide receivers.
I don't know about Casey though. You know.
Do we just I don't know. We snag a freaking tight end. No, we're saving tight end.
All right, let's go. No, let's just go Ryan Watts.
Ryan Watts, another corner. Rated about good against the run. Then we need another run defending cornerback, right? Why not?
We could use it.
Then we can just speed it up to our last pick. Otherwise, I was going to look at that Roger Rosengarten. All right, I'm making I'm making the call here.
Oh, I see what you wanted to do.
We're taking the gopher Brevin Spanford. Needs a little bit of tight end help early on in the season. Get a tackle. I was looking at that Rosengarten out of Washington. He looked pretty solid, but decided to go with grab another corner instead. So what do we got here?
Jaden Daniels. That's crazy. Jaden Daniels at 11 is a B+.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chop Robinson, A-. Like that's gonna be huge.
Lane Jackson, B-.
Trey Benson.
Wasn't our best.
No, I mean, if Zach Zinter, which I still think is solid, if that could have been freaking Cooper Beebe,
and if McKinley Jackson would have been Sweat,
yeah, it would have been. This might have been the perfect draft, and we might have just fixed the Vikings in one draft. Assuming that obviously
Let's go, Gary. That's what we need. It's an A.
Assuming
I see an A.
Kirk,
if you get Jaden Dan, I don't care if you miss on every other pick. If you get Jaden Daniels at 11 and he becomes our franchise quarterback, it'll go down as the greatest draft in Vikings history.
Right. I mean, whether or not Daniil stays or goes, I still think we need edge help. So that'd be huge. Yeah. Defensive interior, man. Like covered a lot of positions of need here. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I know. PFF has got it all messed up. I don't know what's with them with Jaden Daniels, but they needed some updates, I think.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's do this giveaway.
That card.
Yeah. All right, we got 11 entries.
Not bad.
Any last seconders? I'm gonna give this away in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Who we got today? Jordan Addison rookie card giveaway is going to. Got to be here to win. Remember, got to be here to win. And it is boom. Skol Mafia.
Are you still here?
Skol Mafia is still here. I feel like I'm just gonna give it Skol Mafia's. There's some people in
He
here
commented
that
like 5 minutes ago. He's still here.
there's some people that's been here long enough in the sport long enough where it's like, all right, if it's you, I gotta give it to him. I feel like it's been a minute.
See, that's what happens if you join us every week. We get you sometimes get the rules bent for you. So
there he is. He's here. He's here. No,
we
we don't bend any rules for anybody. Let's go, Skol Mafia. Hey, it's been a minute. Skol Mafia was tearing it up at one point.
Absolutely.
So he's back on.
Gary, you're off your roll, man.
Gary, Skol Mafia. Gary went for like 5 for 6.
Skol Mafia's back. Steal it, man. Anything else?
Let's go. I don't think so, man. I think we're good. It's going to be a crazy week this week. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah. I mean, already rumors of that. I have to go check out that Twitter stuff, but
yeah. Jamie and Dave will be on Wednesday. I will not be here, but then next week, Monday night, we'll have honestly, we'll probably start to hear some rumblings because that's the start of illegal tampering, then we'll be we'll be back at full strength the following Wednesday night. And we're going to be talking about a lot of fun stuff because that's obviously the day that free agency starts.
Yeah, Skol Mafia. Yeah, dude, it's going to be a lot to talk about now.
It's gonna be a fun off season, man. It all starts Monday, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. But thanks everybody for hopping in, and I'll see you guys next time.